Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. Stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything: your products, content you create, and even your time. Utilize Squarespace email campaigns to drive sales and engage your audience. Introduce your brand to new subscribers with welcome emails, announce upcoming sales, or send out a discount code. There are built-in analytics to measure the impact of each send. They have such flexible website templates. It's so easy to get started by choosing a template and then customizing it to look and do whatever it is you need or want. And a huge help is their analytics system. This is where you can gather and use all kinds of insights to aid in helping to grow your business. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you are ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/oliviareadsalatte to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you once again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Today we are embarking on a new series where I have to read it or unhaul it. This is a popular kind of video right now, and it's inspired me to finally get to reading my giant collection. So let us begin. We are going to pick the first book for this new series. I think we're literally just gonna call it Read It or Unhaul It. But what I did do when I made this giant thing of all the books that I own physically that I have not read yet, and I put series together, that's why there's not as many as you would think, because I had to do that. I color coded it. What am I in the mood for? I'm in the mood for a fantasy romance. What color purple is the fantasy romance though? Because dark purple is dystopian, so the light purple is fantasy romance, allegedly. Let's see if that's true. I'm nervous. What does it say? My handwriting is so damn small. Oh, the Phoenix King. I have been eyeing that one. Okay. I am nervous. I have it right here. What does it say? Give it a reveal. Oh my god, a book fell. The Crimson Moth. Okay. 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 I can work with it. So I have two. Wait, where did the other one go? Did I drop that back in here? Oh my god. Is this the right one? Okay, yes. So the Phoenix King and the Crimson Moth. Those are the two currently that I can pick from to read at this current moment. Well, we need to go find them on the shelves because I have no idea where they even are. So that would be a good starting place. Don't you agree? Yeah. So I assume the Phoenix King, oh, yep, here it is. Over here. Over here. And I already have a playlist that the author shared on her Instagram. So this is off to a good start. And then I have a special edition. Here's the Crimson Moth. So here are the two options. I feel like I am in such a fantasy mood. Like, I don't see these going wrong for me. I haven't seen anybody say anything about the Phoenix King. So I'm very excited for that. And I have not really seen anything other than like people who normally, if they don't love a book, I tend to really enjoy it more than they did. I feel like everyone has those people that it's like, okay, either if they loved it, I'm gonna love it, or I'm not. Like, you kind of can base how you're gonna experience it based on the other ones that they have loved, how you felt about them, that kind of thing. And the fanrow girls that I follow have either really enjoyed this, and that's a good note for me, or they didn't, and it still bodes well for me. So I think these will both be a fun time. I just don't know which one we will dive into first. But we have the first two books of our little Read It or Unhaul It experiment. And I'm so excited to start this. Oh my gosh. You guys, so you are right in front of Miss Ginger. So if you hear that, that'd be why. She's snoring around. But I have started the first book for this. Oh my god. I have the exact same feelings of this that I had of the Jasad Air when I first started it. My hair was a mess. But just that feeling of like, oh, you're making it onto like the top of the year list. Oh. And this is a trilogy, I believe. Like a confirmed one. Yeah. The Revenants trilogy. So what I didn't realize when I saw this, it's actually sci-fi fantasy, which is one of my favorite things. My two favorite genres are science fiction and fantasy. And the way that science fiction fantasy together just, it sounds like the perfect symphony in my mind. Like, it is beautiful. It's perfection. This already has, I don't know much about Dune. All I know is about that girl yelling in all the trailers and Timothy looking real confused with like something coming out of his nose and Zendaya looking fierce as always. That's what I know about Dune. I do want to read the books because one of my favorite booktubers, it's like one of her favorite books of all time. So I feel like I need to, like, because she's never steered me wrong. Let's be honest here. She's the reason why I'm reading Joe Abercrombie. And if you know, I'm on my journey about Joe. I love Joe. Like, this has somewhat of the aesthetics of Dune for whatever reason, because there are pods, like they're talking to each other on pods which have video as well. So it's almost like, well, low-key kind of sound like a nanny cam for the king in here, this little prologue, but whatever. There's that. There's obviously the magic elements. I'm assuming. Maybe there's not. I don't know. I honestly don't care. I've been taken a little aback and I'm just excited. Oh yeah, because we have two people in here. Okay? We have the heir to the throne. She is like ruthless, gonna do whatever she needs to do to get what she wants. I love that. My favorite. But she can't tap into her family's, what is it? She cannot wield her family's legendary magic, and she's the only one that can't. That's a problem. And then he is a, well, yes, notorious assassin that like swears fealty to the crown. And she's like, yeah, sure. So I knew it was an enemies to lover situation. But let me just say, fantasy romance that puts fantasy at the forefront does it better. It just does. The Jasad Air is the perfect fantasy romance for if you like epic fantasy, but you want one that has more of a oomph on that romance, or you want to kind of wade in gently to the fantasy romance waters, because it can get weird. Okay, it can get real weird real fast. I have a feeling this is going to be something I recommend to y'all as well for that, because it's doing it. It's already doing it. I'm already getting that. I'm getting that 5-star feeling, and I can get that pretty early on. Like when it's a real good one. This writing style is fantastic. It is fast-paced, descriptive. It's got a romantic element, but it's very quick with it. I enjoy that. It's not long-winded. And I'm just so excited to see how this world unfolds. So I'm gonna quit yapping. We'll start reading. Like, I just downloaded this also on my Kindle because that's how serious we're about to get. Because I can't read books on paper late into the night. I got old lady eyes now. I don't know. But I have it on my Kindle. My big old Kindle. Because I know I'm going to be highlighting. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so I have read up to 5 chapters of this, like 50 pages. Y'all, I'm just coming in for a vibe check. Like, this is going to be such a good time. That's literally all I have to say. It's like, this is just going to be such a good time. Like, I am so extremely excited and happy with this right now. I have my water. I have my coffee. I have my book. We are all good. Okay. Book needs to be in frame, Olivia. Hello? I am enjoying the heck out of this. I am almost 200 pages in. Honestly, so many fantasy books this year have been overwritten, under-edited, and this is not the case. This is not the case. This is not what is happening. I am so happy. I am living, laughing, and loving, and I'm going to get back to reading because it is just... mwah. I think I have found I have found another good one for 2024. Thank God. Hello everybody. So I'm about to do some reading sprints, and this is the focus for today. So I'm gonna finish this today. On August 1st, I will finish. I think this is gonna be at least a 4.5, if not a 5-star read, to be honest. I'm really freaking obsessed with I said that so aggressively, with the sci-fi elements in this. Like, it is just, it makes my heart happy every time they mention something, because I'm like, oh! I just love it. I just do. So anyways, I have my water, I have my coffee right next to you, I have this. I'm literally just gonna do a leisurely walk while I'm on these sprints. I'm not really gonna try to like break a sweat or anything like that, because that ain't all that fun. But I am just gonna read, walk, chill, talk to y'all. That is the plan. I am obsessed with this quote. The first book has been finished. And I have to say, it went pretty well. I would give this a 4. It's more like a high 3.75, I would say. The main issue I have with this is actually the marketing that's attempted around it, because this is setting it up for people to think it's a fantasy romance. And I would say the Jasad Heir is closer to a fantasy romance than this is. And I absolutely, like, just go like, when someone says the Jasad Heir is a fantasy romance. Because it's not. Like, maybe in the same way that Daughter of No Worlds is, which is barely. It's just that it's a fantasy that has a romance that does take the forefront when it shows up, but then it goes right back into its little corner and you pay attention to the fantasy plot, which is like this. So what I would say is this could be another one. The Jasad Heir, this Daughter of No Worlds, perfect books for people who have read fantasy romance but want to branch into fantasy. Because you know, you've like read romance, then got into fantasy romance, now you want to get into fantasy. Those would be my 3 that I would point you to, including this one, because it definitely has it. And this one is also more of a romantic, it's like romantically written. Kind of like a Tahada Mafi, but not even at, like, that one is more of a fan row than this one is. I just thought this was super interesting. I love the world building. I loved the sci-fi that's woven into this. I thought it was really, really cool. It's very much aesthetically like Dune. Some of the stuff reminded me of City of Brass, just with the politicking and the way that everything works with the queens and the kings and the princes and princesses and all that. I really liked that. And the warring kingdoms. But then also, it's got like the technology, like the hover cars, the holopods, the way that the news goes around, kind of like Red Rising has it. And it made me miss Red Rising, and I want to go to Dark Age now. But I have other books to read, including our next one for this. So I would highly recommend this, but I would really recommend to switch your mindset, because main complaint I saw on Goodreads is that, first of all, it's slow paced. It is slow paced, but it's the most action-y, slow-paced book I've read in a while. It's a very odd combo, so I don't even know that I would necessarily say it's slow-paced. It's one of those ones that doesn't feel slow-paced until you look back and you're like, wait, what even happened? It's odd, but I really enjoyed it. The main complaint is that this is not a fantasy romance. And it's not. I think that people are just using fantasy romance because it's like a buzz term right now to market. Kind of like, oh, this is a BookTok sensation. Not everything has to be a fantasy romance just because it's a fantasy with romance in it. Because then, in that case, second favorite fantasy romance writer, right here. Like, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? So, anyways, I'm going to go put this up and then we will get started on our next book. I have gone to get our next book and we are going to start it today. I am excited for this one. I don't know a diddly dang thing about it. I do just know that this is a gorgeous edition. Like, can we take a moment? Can we take a moment? Is this focusing? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Don't know. Artwork? Come on, artwork? Oh, it's the same on the back, so only exciting one time. But I think this is beautiful. What else has she written? Nothing I've read. I do think that the next one's coming out, is it this year? I think. Oh, it's such a big type too. Like, oh, I love that. See, I love to read a UK book, but also I'm scared to read a UK book. And I don't mean like the person. I mean like where the person's from. I just mean the binding and the edition, because I always get so scared I won't break it. But y'all allegedly tell me that these are built like this to not break them. So I don't know. But I am still in a romantasy mood because The Phoenix King was not romantasy in any sense of the word. So hopefully this one truly is, and it is truly good. I have heard nothing of it. The thing that I have heard, oh, it's a duology. Love that. LOVE, love that. Because I think people need to embrace the duology more. Not everything needs to be a trilogy. In fact, I don't even think we really need that many quartets. Those could be trilogies. I'm just saying. But I've seen people unbox it. I've seen people pick it up and be like, I'm excited to read this. And then they don't, which is fine. Me too. That's no shade. That's just same thing here. But it's in like a bunch of TBR videos and then I never see it in a vlog. So I don't know my expectations for this, which is kind of how I prefer to go into these books anywho. So we will see. We will say, is she gonna stay or is she getting unhauled? I have to say, if we're just going based off looks, I ain't gonna miss that spine on my shelf. These are pretty, and this is pretty, but the spine is so boring, and I personally enjoy to have a nice spine on the shelves because that's what's facing out. I think it's just as important as the cover, and yet they spend all this time on these little edges that ain't gonna see a light of day because then they'll get washed out. Anywho, let's go start it. Okay, so I've only read that little prologue, intro, chapter thingy, and if this is about to be a witch and a witch hunter fantasy romance, oh, I'm so down. I was just wanting to reread Serpent and Dove so I could continue that trilogy actually, and I would be so into that right now. I love that dynamic. It's just, do you guys have one of those things where you're like, yeah, that's going to be in a book and I'm never going to get tired of it? That's one of them. Found Family is one of them. Like, I just, good. That is true enemies to lovers. You know what I mean? And I have my best boy here to help me with all the read. Oh. Is there a ginger? I heard her. Okay, so I have read the first 6 chapters of this, and I do have to say, going off of what I know so far, between Heartless Hunter and the Crimson Moth, I think the Crimson Moth is a better title. Makes more sense. I'm into it more. I also am liking this cover. It's growing on me. So this book is about our main character, who is a witch, and she is also the Crimson Moth. And the way she gets around this is she is known as like a huge figure in this revolution against witches and what turned the witches into the hunted. She told on her grandmother for being a witch, and that shot her up in notoriety in the like class system. Like, she's just really renowned. She's super rich. She's got all these connections, and she's using them to go John Wick on everyone secretly, and I'm into it. So we open up with her going on like a little mission, and it's like, that didn't go so well, and then we are at a ball party thing at the opera house. What I love is that this has the Victorian aesthetic in my head. We got some cobblestone streets. We've got a carriage or two. We've got like the courting system of back then. Societally, it's feeling very much that, but we have running water, and I love that. I hate the things that would be so inconvenient, and they're inconvenient in books. It's not modern enough that like we got cell phones or anything in here. I don't like that in books because I want to get rid of my cell phone in real life. So I don't want to read about that in a book. But there's something about the merriment of like a fantasy world that has parts of our world, but not, it doesn't belong in a certain era of what we have of history. I really like that. I think it's done well. I like the writing so far. It's very easy to read. I'm not reading the physical copy, although part of me kind of wants to, because it's just like, this looks so nice on the eyes. Do y'all see how big this font is? Ugh. Okay. So the other thing that I'm enjoying is Rune is our main character. She is our Crimson Moth. She is the Wicked Witch of the West. And we have Gideon. That is someone who is part of the Blood Guard. He is Rune's best friend's older brother. Okay. He hates her. Okay. Super hates witches. Okay. And he leads a lot of these hunts. And he's the other point of view that we currently have. So, very much into this. I can totally see this being a very me book. I don't know if this is YA or not. I can't remember if it came in the YA book or book box or not. It's published by Magpie. That doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know. Oh, but it's published by HarperCollins. And it doesn't have, at least Ginger. On this edition, it doesn't have like a specific one that I recognize. So I could see this being YA, to be honest, just in like the vibes and whatnot, but it's got a writing style that I think would appeal to many people, and I am having a good time so far. So I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll get back with you when I have some more thoughts. Hello, you guys. I am so excited to be coming to you with the best news regarding the Crimson Moth. I am only 108 pages in. And I am giggling and kicking my feet. Seriously, like I am all cuddled up in bed right now reading this book, and I am just having the actual best time. The Spotify playlist I'm listening to is This Woven Kingdom playlist that someone made, and it is like perfection. And then I have like a little fall ambiance with like the southern sounds of like crickets and that kind of thing. It's like a fall porch ambiance. So I have that in the background. Then I have that playlist playing. I'm reading this with my eyeballs. Oh my god. It is so good. I love fantasy. I love to read fantasy books. I love to not be in this world. I love to be in my imaginary palace. In my mind palace. Like I can't even explain to you how good of a time I'm having right now. The way that this has started to become like, this is actual enemies to lovers, I think. With one being a witch/witch saver, and one being the witch hunter, and like the whole reason the witch queens even fell. That's craziness. I am having such a good time. What I will say is like you've got to go into this knowing like it's gonna be a YA fun time. I don't know if it's YA. I don't know if that would be what it's classified as, but I feel like when you say YA fantasy, everyone kind of comes up with like expectations for that. Use those, because it might shock you. But like the first scene of them, but it's very much giving Mr. and Mrs. Smith. For whatever reason, like that dynamic. I'm so into this. It's shocking to me. I didn't think I would be this into it. But honestly, I'm coming off having read The Phoenix King, which is a fantasy that features a romance. And then I just finished Wall of Ascension in the weekly vlog. and now I'm reading this, and it's like fantasy, but like just a fun, goofy time. Oh my gosh. This reminds me of how I felt reading Serpent and Dove the first time, but this one, I will say, I wouldn't say one is written better than the other, but I think there is something to say about one like, if your book is so hard to understand what you're trying to get across, not because it's a difficult concept, but because it's almost overwritten, that could be an issue. I feel like what I recall of Serpent and Dove is giggling and kicking my feet when my single brain cell could understand what the heck this lady had just said, because it was said in the most roundabout way. I do want to reread that first book so I can read the rest of the trilogy and then move on to the next book, because I got that for my birthday. So that'll be happening, and maybe that will happen sooner than we thought, because this is putting me into the mood. I know everyone loves their fae. They love a good fae. My favorite thing? Witch and witch hunter. A dynamic. Vampire and vampire hunter. Shoot, I'll take a shifter, a were hunter, whatever. That dynamic is a perfect setup in fantasy or urban fantasy for a true enemies to lovers. Like, it is just scrumdiddlyumptious. I'm having such a good time. I'm gonna keep reading. I was fully planning to go to bed at a normal, decent time, like an adult. I fear that's not in the cards anymore, because this book is in my hands. So I'm just gonna have to keep reading. Oh darn. Oh darn. Oh darn. He really looked. Jake, get that toy. Okay, goodbye. Are you ready for the biggest launch of all time? Thank you, Jake. Creating the calming ambiance we need. I have 42 minutes left in this book, so we're gonna finish it before I go to the doctor. Hello, y'all. So, not gonna lie, things did not go as planned today, so I did not finish it this morning as I thought I would, but the day has settled down. I have settled down into bed, and I think I have, like, let me see. Let us see. I think I literally might not even have 50 pages left in this little book. I'm on chapter 58, 380. So yeah, I think I have about 20 pages left. So we're gonna finish it, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. Actually, should I record them? I feel like I probably should, because, oh, sorry, it's kind of chilly. I turned the fan on up here and I'm cold. But let us record the thoughts, because I had a couple people on Patreon when I said I was reading this for this vlog say that they were very excited to see my reaction to what goes on. Let's see if turning on my ambience light will help this light at all. I am a light mixologist. What do you think about that? Okay, I love a dramatic end scene. I really do. Like, I know a lot of people are like, I hate when the ending is so rushed, but this isn't rushed. Like, there is rushing going on, but it is chaos. And I love that at the end of the book, especially when there's a sequel. Ooh, not this. I actually did not guess this twist. I really didn't. Wow. I'm into this. Ooh, chapter 59. What's going on, Gideon? His soldiers were outnumbered, outgunned. Lafayette. Ginger has joined us. Get on your magic carpet. Come on. Whee! She likes to jump on our heating pad, and then I bring the heating pad up to here so she can sit by me. Come here. It'll heat up. You gotta be patient. You didn't inherit that from me, so I don't really know what the plan is, but good luck, girl. Ew, ow, why is this so upsetting and sad? Ginger, you were too vibey. We're mourning. Get it together, girl. Appropriate. Change your purr tone. Well, now how does she remember that? That's a little convenient, but I'll overlook it because the rest of this book was good. Huh? And also, P.S. What? And also, okay. Yeah, that was a 5 stars. Yeah, we can go ahead and go to the Goodreads and rate that one. That was everything to me. That was great. This, if you ever want to know what my taste is when it comes specifically to YA fantasy, you got it right here. Right here, babes. Right here. This is a full 5 stars. That will be staying in my possession, and I will be getting the sequel whenever they go to release that. Which, let me show you something. Do y'all see what title this is? Let me just. Do y'all see that? Oh. I cannot lie. I don't know how I got approved for that, but I did. Shout out to Annette Galley and whoever loves me over there, because thank you. This was such a good time. So the verdict for both books, since this is a read it or unhaul it, and I guess I did read both of them, so it's more of a read it, do we unhaul it? But because sometimes I like the or because I can DNF. You see, yes. And if I DNF, she has to go. So, I think the Crimson Moth, she stays. The Phoenix King, I'm going to give to my friend because I really want her to read it and I want to see what she thinks about it. Because I have 2 friends from work that one of them is like fantasy reader, like me, and then the other one reads, our thing is like Finlay Donovan. Hey girl. She's the math teacher, so sure she clocked me for that fraction if she noticed it, because y'all sure did. You're right. I was not a math teacher, nor will I ever be. But I want to see what she thinks about it. And usually when I give people books, I assume that I won't get them back. So I guess that's to say, for the Phoenix King, if there ever comes a special edition of it, my hands will be on it. But I have seen a special edition by one company, Acrylic something, that I think it's the same company that I got the Akatar editions from. I think it's pretty, but I want it in hardcover. So yeah, if it ever comes up in hardcover as a special edition or something like that, I would definitely grab it. Or if there's just a hardcover version in general, I'd like to get it. But it's not one that I'm married to staying on my shelves. But I feel like for the first round of Read It or Unhaul It, this was actually pretty successful. Because the true goal is to read these books and find new favorites. That's what I would want. But it's also to weed out books that aren't my favorite, and we can clear them off the shelves to make room for those that could be my favorite. So we achieved the goal. Love, love, love. Yay, 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 slay. Let me know down below if you've read either of these books, what you think of them, if you're going to read them, all the good stuff. I think we can leave, oh, I was gonna say a ginger emoji, or you can do a Jake emoji, or you can do both. Either one works. That'll be for them because they've stuck with me. They've also read both these books. They have witnessed me pacing around the house due to these books. So, sorry, I have to attend to her heating pad because if I don't, we will all hear about it. Without further ado, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a great day. Make sure that you're drinking your water, staying hydrated. Make sure you are being kind, and have a good day on purpose because you deserve it. And I will see you on Wednesday or in the next Read It or Unhaul It episode. Bye.
Hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.